Hi, Tim Young, BSMPA. Kevin Christian in Georgia, a targeted individual, talked about virtual drive theft off your hardware, where they can mimic your system and sit in the EMF and divert your work as a person, suppress, repress, obfuscate, repress, or try to squash a TI, manipulate people that would be followers on your Twitter account and shit like that, and all that kind of elaborate stuff. He talked about how they would have APK files that they could put into Kevin's Instagram account. They would delete so many followers a day and shit like that, and him trying to work against that pretty routinely. Well, on Twitter, I may have experienced something similar, where folks that may have been a fan or liked my discussions or whatnot, I got hacked error messages when it may have been somebody saying hi, or even a new friend that would be diverted to an account off this virtual drive theft stuff that's going to be kind of new to a lot of people. With remote neural monitoring and people being able to read your minds, nobody should be in Bitcoin if it has to deal with cryptography, and that it would have anything really to do with human memory. How I try to outsmart these guys, and they keep hacking into this old cell phone that I have that I want to root, but I have an authenticator with a number that changes every 15 minutes. I try to keep the phone offline, use a file editor to take out anything that's comes in from the tunneled Wi-Fi or otherwise. And the authenticator keeps locks on my Facebook, my website, my Twitter, and my Instagram and accounts like that. They've stolen cell phones from me in the past to get at information. A lot of it was garbage in, garbage out, frankly. So that may have just happened to me a little bit. Particularly misled EMF. You guys may be and then they in turn mislead the towns I come into. But for those that would be watching EMF broadcasts or schooled in virtual drive shit like other electromagnetic form beings, you may be being misled about me more than even some of the public that's been involved in these psyops for the last 15 years. So yeah, I think what happened to Kevin happened to me. It's a way to keep me isolated as a TI. And then they've got, of course, NLP, satanic language, oh, those are probably hot chicks, or we're taking more women and this and that. And for all I really know, it could have been just some very false setup, hot air, like most of the shit. So ho-hum, me, the fucking male Rapunzel out here in Hillsboro. Yeah, I will stay in my tower. And no, I will not let down my hair, but it was really nice and polite being out with some of the regular staff members at some local shops here in Hillsboro. It was nice. I had a good interaction with a pro who may have known me more for some of the things I've done in this nano, or not, they told me it was nano thieving and a satanic misdirect. No, it's called virtual drive theft, like what Kevin Christian talked about. But all this productivity, and then they're leeching it right out of my mind. I mean, I'm using a program now to try and combat modifying my video. I'll upload this to the Google Drive, so that there'd be a copy that it did get modified. But I've got a voice to text translator now that I've used, and that's probably, that same technology, no shit, has probably been used on me for 15 fucking years, coming straight out of my R&M. So all that content of me just being a human being, the whole time covertly. So I'm going to try and do maybe some counter surveillance, voice to text, see if I can combine that with voice to text and then scrolling on video like I've seen on some YouTube presentations to really try and mitigate any gang stalker hacker tactics against TI fucking with our videos and shit. Man, there was one on YouTube that they put in some kind of program hacking into my gear at Dakota that it didn't look anything like the original video by the time I saw it still being up. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of really misled people about me that are potentially getting siphoned off just now here on traffic off of Twitter that show up to like a mimicked virtual drive account of a gang stalker specifically working against me as a TI. So keep me fucking isolated, me and my Western wizard terror enduring the neurolinguistic terrorism. Set design, street theater, but I did have a nice interaction with a local, which is what's important to me. I don't need more EMF set design for my torture and few words misled neurolinguistic programming and whatnot. It's been 15 years. I was made a TI for no good reason, like so many of them. These guys can have it both ways, practice Satanism and then say at the same time, like, you know, I'm Billy Bob over in so-and-so place, and when I log out of the EMF bandwidth, I have a life, and, you know, I'm a real human being and stuff like that. And at the same time, throw their consciousness here and make my life a living hell, along with 1.5 million Americans. So, maybe 3. But yeah, my IT security concerns as a TI, I've really underestimated, and it's just, at the same time, they're pulling data right out of my consciousness as I'm speaking. They're meeting me at like speed of thought, in between that and my speed of sound, like taking advantage of that mind control discrepancy, and then speaking like sometimes before I speak. It's textbook boilerplate shit that they've probably done 1,000 times, so, or many more than that. Doing okay though. It's the anniversary of D-Day, June 6th in the evening. Let's just see at the sunset out there, the weather. I'm in Oregon, where I spent most of my life. And I feel better about making it through this. It's tough becoming an aware TI. They really do try to kill you, and then when you get educated about the perping and it diffuses some of the tactics against you, that doesn't often make, you know, perps happy and whatnot. But yeah, me, the aware TI out here in a mental health crisis in Oregon, reported in the news, not drawing attention to the overlap with that and targeted individual status in electromagnetic terrorism. Like, a lot of the people in the mental health crisis in Oregon may very well be TIs getting perped.